He used to be called Blanket. That was the name the world knew him as. The little kid in the mask. The baby Michael Jackson once held over a hotel balcony in Berlin. The son nobody ever saw the face of. His real name is Biggie. He is 24 years old now. He is quiet. He is tall. He looks a lot like his dad when the light hits him right. And in the middle of 2024, then again in 2025, then again in 2026, this quiet 24-year-old walked into a courtroom in Los Angeles and did something nobody in the Jackson family thought he would ever do. He filed papers against his own grandmother, 95-year-old Katherine Jackson, the woman who raised him after his father died, the woman who fed him breakfast on the day of the memorial, the only mother figure he has ever really known. He didn't sue her for money, he didn't sue her for the house, he sued her over a $600 million deal. And he told the world, in official legal filings, that his own grandmother should stop being paid by his dead father's estate. This is not a story about greed. This is a story about a son who has finally decided that protecting his father's legacy is worth losing the last piece of his family for. And if you think you know what Biggie Jackson is really fighting for, trust me, you don't. Let me tell you about the little boy first, because you cannot understand the man without understanding the child. Biggie was born in 2002. His father, Michael, had already been through the media war of a lifetime, the 1993 allegations, the 2003 arrest, the 2005 trial. By the time Biggie came along, Michael had made a decision. His youngest child was not going to be a headline. Biggie grew up behind masks, behind veils, behind hats pulled down low. When you saw childhood photos of him in tabloids, you saw fabric. Michael was protecting him from something. Biggie did not know what. Then, on June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson was rushed to UCLA Medical Center. He never came home. Biggie was 7 years old. Katherine Jackson stepped in. She was already in her 70s then. She took the three kids, Prince, Paris, and Biggie, into her home. She raised them. And for years, the world watched a beautiful, healing image. Grandmother and grandchildren. A family put back together. That is the version most people know. Here is the version they don't. Behind the scenes, from the moment Michael died, a war was being fought over his estate. Michael left a will. In that will, he named two co-executors. One was John McClane, a music executive. The other was John Branca, the lawyer who had represented Michael on and off for over 20 years. Together, these two men would run everything Michael left behind. His music, his publishing, his likeness, his name. Katherine got a large piece of the money as a beneficiary, but she did not get the power. Branca did. Katherine did not like that. Katherine has never liked that. And for over a decade, she has been fighting the executors in court again and again, trying to claw back control over her son's fortune. The biggest fight of them all came in early 2024. That is when the Jackson estate finalized a deal to sell half of Michael's music catalog to Sony Music for around $600 million. It was, at that point, the largest music catalog deal in the history of the recording industry. Katherine said no. Katherine said Michael would have hated it. Katherine said her son's music was not for sale. She tried to block it. She lost. She appealed. She lost. She appealed again. In August of 2025, a California appeals court issued the final ruling. The deal was going through. Katherine's objections had no merit. End of story. And this whole time, while Grandma Katherine was throwing lawyers at the executors, those lawyers were being paid by the estate, by Michael's money, millions of dollars, fighting Michael's own executors, using Michael's own money. Now enter Biggie. In March of 2024, Biggie filed something extraordinary. He filed a legal objection asking the court to stop paying Katherine's legal fees out of the estate. In plain English, he told the judge, "My grandmother is welcome to fight my dad's executors if she wants to, but she cannot use my dad's money to do it." Let that sink in. A 22-year-old kid in a suit that probably didn't fit right filed a court paper telling the world he was okay with his own grandmother losing. He was okay with her being cut off. He was on the executor's side. Now every single blog on the internet ran the same headline. Biggie Jackson turns on his grandmother. Blanket betrays Katherine. Every single one of them. They were all lying. They were all wrong, because if you actually read what Biggie's lawyers wrote, and I read all of it, the argument is not about attacking Katherine. The argument is about protecting Michael. Watch this. The executors, Branca especially, had negotiated a deal that grew Michael's estate from $500 million in debt to over $2 billion in value. That is not opinion. That is business school case study material. Biggie grew up watching that happen. He saw the estate rebuild the empire his father had almost lost. And whatever you think of John Branca, and there are plenty of people who don't like him, Biggie's opinion is on the record. Biggie thinks the executors saved his dad's legacy. His grandmother is trying to undo it, and every dollar spent on grandma's lawyers is a dollar that would have gone to him and his siblings, and eventually his own kids someday, his own future family, his own future. That is not betrayal, that is math. Katherine, of course, saw it differently. When Biggie filed his objection, Katherine's lawyers fired back within days. In a public statement, her team basically called Biggie confused, manipulated, not his own man. They painted him as a kid being pushed around by John Branca, the same John Branca who was raising him through the estate's decisions. Now think about that from a 22-year-old's perspective for a second. Your dad is dead. Your mom is not really in your life. Your grandma just called you a puppet in a national newspaper. Your older sister is off doing music and TV. Your older brother is running his own foundation. And the only adult who has consistently shown up at your legal meetings, your business meetings, your everything, is a lawyer named John Branca. You would side with the lawyer too. The court hearings dragged on. Through 2024, through 2025, Katherine's appeals kept getting denied. Every time she lost, she filed another one. Every time she filed another one, the meter kept running. Legal fees, retainers, motions, all coming out of estate cash. And then in August of 2025, the final appeal was denied. For real this time. It was over. But here is the twist that most of the coverage missed, because Katherine didn't stop. She filed another motion, this time in 2026, arguing that the estate should still keep paying her legal team, even though she had lost the underlying case. Even though there was nothing left to fight over, she just wanted the payments to keep going. Biggie filed against it again. And here is where I get emotional, honestly, because you have to picture what this actually looks like. A 95-year-old grandmother and her 24-year-old grandson in separate legal filings against each other over money that neither of them actually needs. Neither of them will ever spend it all. Neither of them will ever miss it. But it is not about the money, it never was. It is about what Michael Jackson would have wanted. And in that house, in that family, everybody thinks they know the answer. Katherine thinks Michael would have wanted her to fight. Biggie thinks his dad would have wanted the estate protected. Paris, as of March 2026, has jumped in on Biggie's side about transparency but is skeptical about the biopic spending. 3 grandchildren, 1 grandmother, and a father's ghost that everybody is trying to speak for. Now here is the part I want you to think about long after you close this video. Biggie is 24 years old. He has never given a real interview. He has never released a song. He has never posted a viral video. He has done almost nothing publicly, but quietly in courtroom after courtroom over the last 3 years, he has become the single most active defender of his father's business legacy. Not Katherine, not Prince, not Paris, Biggie. He shows up, he signs papers, he testifies through his lawyers, he fights. Some of his father's fans have started calling him the Silent Jackson. Not because he doesn't speak, but because when he does, it counts. When Biggie puts his name on a filing, judges pay attention, because everybody in that courtroom knows the same thing. This is the kid Michael loved the most, the one he held closest, the one he protected the hardest. And if Biggie is standing here, quietly, respectfully, but firmly, asking the court to stop his own grandmother from draining his father's estate, then maybe, just maybe, this is what Michael actually wanted. The Sony deal is done, the catalog is sold, the money is flowing, Katherine is still fighting, Biggie is still filing. And somewhere in a house that Michael Jackson bought for his family more than 20 years ago, a grandmother and a grandson eat their meals in different rooms. That is what $600 million looks like inside the Jackson family. If this hit you the way it hit me, hit the like button. Comment, protect the legacy if you're on Biggie's side, or stand with grandma if you're on Katherine's. And subscribe, because Bigi Jackson is just getting started, and the next chapter of this story is going to make everything you just heard look small.